Hello, my name is Jimmy, and this, well, it's the 2021 Buick Envision. Now, you may not have seen too many of these on the road, but they're actually a huge name in China where they're built. But it should be a big name here because there's actually a lot of good qualities about it, and in this video, I want to tell you exactly why. Buick currently makes 4 SUVs. All of their cars has been discontinued for more 2021 friendly, everyone want an SUV kind of vibe. And in my opinion, I really like that Regal that they had, and well, that's just me anyways. This Envision, it slots between the smaller Encore and the bigger Enclave. With 2 rows of seating, this is to compete against like the BMW X3, the Mercedes GLC, Acura's RDX. You have the Infiniti QX50. I mean, there's a lot of vehicles in this market, and this slots, well, kind of in the middle in terms of the features, but underneath a lot of them in terms of price. And that's exactly why you should be, well, taking a look at this. Because the Envision here in Canada starts off at 36,000 Canadian dollars, and well, you can get the top Avenir trim for about $47,000. And yeah, that's quite a bit less than any other luxury market. It's basically almost the same price as like a Mazda. And that's crazy. There's such good value here. But I want to talk about the styling first. This is actually a really nice looking SUV. The front end, it kind of reminds me of like the RDX or the MDX with its headlights and grille. And speaking of the headlights, absolutely beautiful. When you walk up to the vehicle or unlock it, it has this kind of dance to it. It's very similar to like BMWs or Mercedes vehicles, but well, it's just high end. I absolutely love it. It's a very distinctive Buick front end. On the side, we get 20-inch wheels. This is part of the Sport Touring package or the ST package. Don't confuse this ST to like a Ford's ST. This is simply in an appearance package. They darken out some of the chrome, blacked out bits and pieces, no performance upgrades here. But I don't mind these 20-inch wheels, they look good. It has a sleek profile over the top, blacked out roof bars. And then back here, a beautiful set of LED taillights. If you get the Avenir model, so the top trim, these are actually cleared rather than this red. I don't mind it, it looks good. I mean, overall, it's a really good and smart looking SUV. It's, like I said, it's just a shame that we just don't see too many of them on the road. Let's take a quick peek at the trunk here. We can open up the tailgate with a kick underneath this Buick logo on the bottom, and inside we get 25.2 cubic feet of space. It's not too bad. There's a little bit more space underneath, but it's mostly filled with your spare tire. You can fold the seats down 40-60, but you do have to go around to the back to fold them down. In terms of rear seat comfort, it's pretty good. This specific one doesn't have the $1,800 moonroof option, so there's plenty of headroom. Legroom is good. It's actually decently spacious back here. This being the Essence trim, so the mid trim with the ST package on top, I do have heated seats back here, which is definitely a nice option. And there's a center armrest, and just overall very comfortable. As you can see, I do have my Collect lane here on the left, and well, if you're going to be using it as a family hauler, I have a separate video that's linked up here where you can see exactly how a Collect lane as well as a Collect Fünf convertible as well as an infant seat, just to see exactly how much space there is overall. In terms of a family hauler though, I gotta admit, plenty of space in here. Really no difficulties getting the seats in. The lower anchors are easy to reach. The upper anchors are also very nicely placed as well. Let's take a look at the front seats here. All right, the front seats. They're actually quite supportive. They actually fit me pretty well. I'm 5'11" and about 180 pounds, and absolutely no problems here. The seats also have a 4-way lumbar support, which is nice, something that's not always offered. In terms of what's in front of me, pretty typical Buick steering wheel here. I mean, typical GM affair, really. You got your heated steering wheel button and all the other buttons that you really need to control the infotainment as well as the cluster. There are some buttons behind the steering wheel as well to control like the volume and whatnot. It just worked. Behind that, I got a partial digital, partial analog cluster. Looks pretty traditional. Once again, typical GM affair, no problems. Nothing that stands out. It's not like a full digital display or anything like that. But I don't think it needs to be. The way that it is, it's completely fine. Above, I do have a heads-up display that does show me quite a bit of information, and there's some physical buttons on the left to control that. And then the infotainment system. Being the ST model, I do have the larger 10.2-inch screen here. There's a dedicated volume and tuning knob. It works really well, like all GMs do. There's wireless CarPlay, Android Auto, LTE, OnStar, like everything that you really need is built in. The screen itself, it is canted towards the driver. So as a driver, it kind of feels like everything is just wrapped around me, and I do like that. However, if you're the passenger, you may not be able to see the screen just as well as, well, the driver can. Just below that, I have my climate control, very easy to use, really no complaints there. I do have some USB charge points. If you have the Avenir trim, that's also where you'll find the Qi wireless charger. Underneath that is something that every journalist complains about, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to let you know of it, but I want to tell you the benefit of this. This push button shifter, or kind of pull button for drive and reverse, yes, it's not as intuitive as a regular shifter would be, but after a few days, you'll get used to it. And because of these buttons, you also have access to bigger cup holders on the right, which personally, I appreciate a little bit more. And there's a little space here for whatever else you need. Honestly, there's nothing to complain about this cabin. It's a very good looking cabin. All the materials are good. On the top, we do have squishy materials. Leather is nice on here. There are some scratchier plastics down low, but where my knees hit in the center, well, that's soft. And I appreciate that. Anyways, let's go for a drive and talk about what's underneath the hood here. All right, on the road with the 2021 Buick Envision. Underneath the hood is a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, which basically, like all vehicles these days are, 228 horsepower, 258 pound-feet of torque. All that power is fed through all 4 wheels through a 9-speed automatic. But it actually depends on, which trim and option and where you're at. Because in Canada here, the base model, you can get that with front-wheel drive. And actually in the US, on all trims, you can get it with front-wheel drive. But here in Canada, the mid and top trim, it's only available with all-wheel drive. And it's a user-selectable all-wheel drive. There's a little button on the bottom here that says mode. Right now I'm in 2-wheel drive for maximum efficiency, and I can switch it to 4-wheel drive with the press of a button. There's also a sport and off-road mode, which, to be honest, I don't think anyone really is pressing. Speaking of pressing, let's floor it. Not bad, actually. Pickup is decent. I mean, 258 pound-feet of torque, 9-speed auto. It does what it needs to do. It's not some sort of rocket vehicle or anything like that. So don't expect like crazy acceleration. And don't also expect crazy handling, because a Buick is more for that comfortable ride. And, well, in the corner, it does roll a little bit and you certainly feel it. But honestly, it's not that bad. And I actually prefer this kind of ride over something a little bit more sporty, because it's an SUV. Most people that's going to be buying this is driving it on the road. They want a comfortable vehicle to, go about their day. They don't need something that can, like, carve canyons and whatnot. Most people don't anyways. And because of that, well, the suspension on this is more than adequate. It's supple, it's soft, it soaks up all the bumps. It just makes for a pleasant ride. On the highway, it does have radar-guided cruise control, which does work pretty well, but it lacks lane centering. It does have lane departure warning, so if you stray out of the lane, it does tell you. It vibrates your seats to let you know, but that's really it. It doesn't actually stay on course or help you stay on course. But it does have blind spot monitoring, rear cross traffic alert, and, well, other safety items that you may need. I do wish for lane centering. It does help a little bit, especially for longer drives. Overall, the Envision is a really good vehicle. It's priced well, it has all the right features, it looks good on the out as well as on the inside. there's nothing I don't like about it. I know there's a lot of journalists out there that's going to drive this car and complain about this push button shifter because they're more used to the standard kind of, well, regular shifter. And honestly, like I said, no problems using this. It's simple enough. Just pull a tab. It's not difficult. And really, most people is just pressing park, reverse, and drive. No one's pressing the neutral, no one's pressing the manual button for the manual paddle shifters. Not in this type of vehicle anyways. So yeah, no real complaints. It's a good vehicle for you, your family. It can carry your kids in the back. There's space in the trunk. And like I said, it's priced really, really well. If you're in the market for a premium SUV, absolutely, take a look at this. It's really, really good car overall. And GM has a really big dealer network. So if something does go wrong, there's always a dealer that's able to help you service your vehicle, whatever it may be. A lot of people just don't consider things like that. In any case, thank you so much for watching this video. Like the video if you do, subscribe if you want to see more, and we'll catch you next time.